At the Battle of Leyte Gulf, with victory in sight, the Imperial Japanese Navy's main fleet suddenly turned back. Why did the commander abandon triumph in the largest naval battle in history? This reversal effectively doomed and devastated the Imperial Japanese Navy, costing approximately 70 vessels, 2,500 aircraft, and the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers. Yet, in truth, this failure stemmed from structural causes that continue to repeat even today. What was truly behind this inexplicable decision-making, driven by information chaos and organizational psychology? Why retreat when victory was imminent? Who overlooked what? And what lessons does this historic miscalculation offer modern leadership? This video will uncover the answers. Now, let's delve into the full scope of this collapse. In this main feature, we will also thoroughly explain the psychology of a battlefield shrouded in the fog of information. In 1944, late in the Pacific War, Japan was in a desperate situation, its resources and fighting power depleted. Yet hope still flickered. That hope lay in the pride of the Imperial Japanese Navy, boasting the combined fleet, once hailed as the world's strongest, and the unprecedented super battleship, Yamato. Since the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, despite the setback at Midway, its formidable strength was known worldwide. Specifically, the first striking force, commanded by Vice Admiral Takeo Kurita, dubbed Kurita's Fleet, was a decisive battle group comprising numerous battleships, including the Yamato and Musashi. The Philippines, particularly Leyte Gulf, was the gateway to Japan's vital southern resources. Losing it would mean certain defeat. The defense of this area was absolute, and Japan launched Operation Shogo 1, wagering everything it had left, a truly desperate gamble. The operation's objective was to crush the American landing forces in Leyte Gulf and secure the Philippines. Failure meant no future for Japan. Kurita's fleet, with its immense power, planned to break into Leyte Gulf and swiftly annihilate the American landing forces. The strategy was for a decoy force, led by Vice Admiral Jisaburo Ozawa, to lure the U.S. mobile fleet northward, creating an opening for Kurita's fleet to strike. This decoy operation was astonishingly successful. Admiral Halsey's main U.S. mobile fleet, completely fooled by the diversion, began moving north. The U.S. 7th Fleet, directly escorting the American landing forces in Leyte Gulf, possessed powerful battleship units but only escort carriers for air power. In the early morning of October 25th, Kurita's fleet reached off Samar. Before them lay the American Escort Carrier Task Unit, Taffy 3. For Kurita's fleet, which had expected to engage a mobile force of full-sized aircraft carriers and battleships, Taffy 3 was an ideal target. From the perspective of Kurita's battleships, Taffy 3 was like a defenseless infant. Victory was truly within grasp. However, at this very moment, a small yet decisive unraveling began, one that would lead to later tragedy. During the engagement with Taffy 3, Kurita's fleet mistakenly identified the enemy carriers as fleet carriers. Despite their overwhelming advantage, confusion erupted. Furthermore, American counterattacks led to many destroyers being misidentified as fleet carriers. Reports generated exaggerated victories and erroneous information. Admiral Kurita was in an extreme state of exhaustion from continuous combat and the previous day's American air attacks. His ability to make calm judgments was dulled. Having lost the battleship Musashi the day before, the officers and men of Kurita's fleet had become overly sensitive to the threat of aircraft. Amidst the confusion off Samar, Kurita's fleet wasted precious time, allowing the optimal moment for entering Leyte Gulf to slip away. Around 9 a.m., Kurita's fleet set course eastward, aiming for Leyte Gulf. However, intelligence of a phantom enemy then arrived. A telegram from an unverified source stated, "Enemy is judged to be accompanied by a powerful fleet." This single sentence profoundly shook Kurita. But here, a pitfall nobody noticed lay open. Perhaps that judgment error was inevitable. The order from Imperial General Headquarters was clear: penetrate Leyte Gulf, destroy enemy landing forces. However, communication between the field and high command had already broken down. Admiral Kurita had received not a direct order to charge in, but an ambiguous telegram suggesting a retreat may be unavoidable. Amidst extreme fatigue and confusion, the command staff fell victim to erroneous groupthink. The enemy's main mobile fleet is moving south. Many ships and soldiers had already been lost, and fuel was running low. They might have been trapped by the sunk cost fallacy, unwilling to incur further sacrifices. Accurate information was scarce, with only fragmented reports. The fog of war made calm judgment impossible. The ambiguous telegram, "Enemy is judged to be accompanied by a powerful fleet," had a fatal impact on the cornered command staff. For Admiral Kurita, the threat of an unseen enemy, which needed to be avoided, now felt more potent than the victory within his grasp. Psychological pressure, lack of information, and past trauma converged, and the commander finally made his ultimate decision. At 9:23 a.m. on October 25th, a shocking order was issued to Kurita's fleet. All ships reverse course, head north. A sudden reversal just before entering Leyte Gulf. The officers and men were bewildered, and the American forces could not hide their surprise at this inexplicable action. Kurita's reasons for turning back were to avoid engagement with a phantom enemy fleet, supposedly including fleet carriers, and fear of disadvantage in a night battle. This reversal squandered the prime opportunity to penetrate Leyte Gulf. The American landing forces remained unscathed, and Japan's lifeline was completely severed. Kurita's fleet attempted to return to Leyte Gulf, but the moment had passed. Overwhelming American counterattacks inflicted devastating damage. Kurita's turn effectively signaled the end of the Imperial Japanese Navy in the Pacific War. Remaining forces were diverted to kamikaze operations. The tragedy of Kurita's turn at the Battle of Leyte Gulf leaves many lessons for our decision-making in modern society. The immense pressure on leadership under the extremes of both information overload and scarcity. The commander was gripped by fear of a phantom enemy. The critical importance of communication within organizations. History teaches us that ambiguous instructions can lead to fatal misunderstandings. And the courage to objectively assess a situation, free from groupthink or the sunk cost fallacy, becomes the key to saving an organization. Why did Kurita's fleet turn back at the Battle of Leyte Gulf with victory in sight? It was a tragedy triggered by information chaos, extreme fatigue, and distorted organizational decision-making. The commander, gripped by fear of a phantom enemy, willfully abandoned an overwhelming advantage. This historical miscalculation serves as a cautionary tale for decision-making in modern business and politics. Why can success sow the seeds of failure? Who overlooked what? And what are the lessons for today? We hope this video helps shed light on these questions. There's a fundamental difference in the quality of crucial decision-making between those who understand this failure and those who do not. If you found this video insightful, please subscribe and give it a like. We release a new history of failure every day.
この失敗は歴史のほんの1ページ。世界にはまだ語られていない失敗が数多くあります。失敗の歴史をチャンネル登録して次の物語もぜひご覧ください。